Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crypto Scene Investigation, where we have a look at various cryptocurrency projects and we ask ourselves, should we actually really be, investing in this project? Today we'll be looking at Sombra.app. If you guys like what I do on this channel, please consider liking and subscribing, as well as being able to read whatever that says, because, we want to be a great place for great people. Anyway, these are some NFTs. This is kind of cool. These guys who are doing this project. But we try to not be biased, so we'll be looking through a few different statistics today. Try to get a decent overview, finding out who these guys are, and yeah, this is gonna be good fun. Sombra Network, rank 4,500. Wonderful. Market cap, unsure. And we won't be finding out what the certain market cap is because it's spread over 3 different chains. Actually, I'll take that back, 4 different chains. Not sure if the other one is currently up yet, because generally when we have a look at the contracts listed under CoinMarketCap, we can usually see where else it is listed, which other token contracts it's currently subscribed to. Keep in mind that the Polygon token contract is the same as the Ethereum token contract. That could be helpful later on, and I'll show you guys why. So it says that the maximum supply is 100 million. Not sure if that's completely true as well. That could only be 100 million for one of the scans. I think it's BSC scan. There we go, it's this one. So just so that you guys are aware. So when we have a look at the price of Sombra, we can see that according to CoinMarketCap, it started at about 0.026, went to an all-time high, chilling at around about 0.2, and then it dipped, and then so we're sort of steadily going like that at the 0.05 mark. Yeah. So that was in November 2021. So who are these guys? I'm going to try to explain them. I'm not going to try to read stuff like this, even though you guys can pause, you can have a read of all these things for yourself. But essentially, from what I can see, they are doing something pretty incredible. In fact, maybe one of the better examples is if I show you. So they have so this is the Sins of Shadow NFT AMA. So this is actually a guy right now, and he's wearing a suit, so you can actually see it. So this is the founder, Brendan O'Neill, or is it Brandon? Brandon or Brendan? I cannot remember. Brendan, yes, I got it right. So he, so as you can see, he's literally doing stuff in the real time, and he's doing a lot of sort of arm and hand movements. But to be honest, from what I've seen of him, he definitely seems like the sort of guy, he's one of the most extroverted, energetic, enthusiastic people that I have probably ever seen in one of these crypto things. He is very energetic, but yeah, so good on him. He's doing this sort of thing, and making avatars. In fact, they're using a whole bunch of different developmental sort of softwares and techniques. So this guy already has a tick for AMA, and have a look at all of his other videos. He literally is continuously updating us as the audience with what is actually going on with the project. So first of all, Karpai, massive respect for you, Mr. Brendan. Thank you very much. Cool. So let's have a look at some other stats. Let's see, Etherscan. So I thought that this was the main one, but apparently it's not. So this was actually this contract was only really done a few days ago. So the fact that CoinMarketCap is showing this as the main contract, that is a bit of a falsehood, really. Yeah, don't believe that. Actually, let's have a look at some exchanges which it is on. So it's currently on PancakeSwap, Uniswap, QuickSwap, and ApeSwap, and they also have their own exchange, which I believe is called SombraSwap. Yeah, so cool beans regarding that. So WBNB, WETH, WMatic, and WBNB as well. So it's cool how they're utilizing various different swaps for the things which they're wanting to do. So they're essentially just kind of spreading themselves out, right? I believe that BSC scan is actually the main one. So when we have a look at in terms of the holders percentage, we can see that the top one is 25%, and that is a dead address, which is a good time for us. The second one is a deployer, which is 5.8%. Doesn't necessarily make it bad. And I do not think, judging by the rest of the information that I have seen from this project, that these guys are going to try to rug pull it. We will look at some things which could cause this to be a honeypot to some extent, and some other strange other things as well. But yes, so we can see that this is the pancake swap. It looks like a liquidity pool. Not sure what this contract is about, but then there's another random holder up here as well. So in terms of this jazz, it doesn't look that bad. Okay, it's not the best, but it is far from the worst. Yeah, also I'm not sure what Chi coin is. Not sure what that is. Maybe it's a project for later. So this particular one is something which is very fresh. It's only like 4 days old, I think. Yeah, 4 days old. So maybe it's best if we just skip past the Etherscan one. But a part of this is this would come under the Uniswap for people who want to buy it on WETH, WETH, if you guys are interested. So then this last one says that this is actually an NFT, a non-fungible token one. Actually, we'll go back, sorry. So it says that there's only currently 60 addresses, or 60 holders. And keep in mind, on the ETH, there is only 27 holders, which is even less. So it says that one holder holds 2.3 million of those tokens, which they would be sitting somewhere between. So that'd be just under number 7, which is under the 2.5% here, or 2.54%, or yeah, anyway, something like that. So yeah, I think in terms of this, it does look dodgy if we were to only see this as the only token contract, but because this is not the main token contract, and because according to this they've only got a max supply of 3 million on this token contract, they may be able to change that, but we will look at Moonarch to be able to see that. And this is Polygon scan here. So they say that this is an NFT one. As you can see, smart contract. In terms of me being able to read NFT data when it comes to actual scans, I have seen some weird looking ones, so not exactly sure how the NFT ones work, but I'm gonna guess, because this actually still says that it is a standard Smbr, that it is just like any other sort of scanner, such as Etherscan or BSC scan. We can actually see that the top one, which is 25% holdings, is actually a smart contract, so that's a good time. 12 and 11%, those are massive wallets right there. Those are really big. If these guys sell, then they could potentially dip the price by quite a bit. But once again, I'm not exactly too concerned when it actually comes to the whole entire ecosystem, because a lot of these other guys are actually pretty big as well. Because I mean, like, you can see 2.6 million there. And I mean, these guys only really hold 400,000, which according to the whole entire ecosystem, 400,000 is sitting around sort of this sort of percentage. So it's under 0.5%. So to me, it really doesn't seem that sort of bad. So yeah, even though it looks big, that doesn't mean that it is actually big. Cool. Let's move on. BSC checks. So this is the ETH one. It says seem scam, but I mean, that's because it's 78%. It says that it's dev tokens. Which, I mean, you guys have seen that, so 77% right there, which is 2 million, which I guess if it was split across and those are properly dev tokens, then that means that the dev tokens so go 2.3 million plus 5.8 million, which makes it about 2.3, 5.8, so it's like 8 something, 9 something like that. Yes, it's 8, no, so it would be like 8.1, which actually means that this would technically be higher than 5.8%. So according to that, and we'll see what it says about Polygon. Sorry guys, we'll have to refresh our browser with this one here. It definitely exists. I can tell you guys that it definitely exists on Poly. But yes, I will pause the video. Sorry guys, I can't seem to find the way with this one, so we'll have to move on from that. Tried refreshing a few different times, but it didn't work. Alright, so this would be the main one. This is BSC, so buy tax 6%, sell tax 6%. We will see what that tax is actually used for, and you as a token holder can definitely likely benefit from that. So ownership says not renounced, 5.86%, which we have definitely seen. And it says that is impressive. 99% is, or 99.89% is actually burned or locked. So generally we want something which is over 95%. So in terms of liquidities, that is a good looking time. Keep in mind that this report says that it was created on the 21st, which was 3 days ago. So yes, you guys can take your own judgments with that. Token Sniffer. So unfortunately, Token Sniffer is a bit limited currently. So when I actually tried to search up the ETH wallet for the so the Poly and the ETH wallet both have the same numbers in terms of numbers and letters in terms of the token contract. So when I copy and when I paste it inside here, it only comes up with the Poly one, so we can't actually see the ETH one currently. So just be aware of that. But also it's only 4 days old, so it makes a little bit of sense. So this is what it says about the BSC one. It says that the source contains a fee modifier. Now, from what I have seen, that 6% seems legit, but I do want you guys to understand a part of the risk would be that if you were to invest in this, because they have got a fee modifier, it means that the actual contract owners, because they still are currently owning the actual token contract, it means that they can potentially increase the fees of both buying and selling, which would mean that if, let's say, you were to buy, it would be like most of your fees, or like most of the tokens you wouldn't actually be receiving. But if you try to sell them, they could increase the fee to, let's say, like something wild high, like 96% or something like that, and then you lose 96% of your tokens, or 96% of what you would be receiving, because then that would be paid back into tax, back into the actual project, or back into the devs' wallets. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yeah, so that's that. So it says tokens burned. So according to this, it says that the owner/creator wallet actually holds 7.8% of the circulating supply, because remember, 25% is actually currently burned, and so generally you want them to have less than 5%. But yeah, I'm not really too threatened by that at this point in time. But hey, don't listen to me, right? I mean, always read that little black thing down the bottom. Cool. So adequate liquidity present, so 617 BNB, which is delicioso. We will check quickly on PooCoin to see actually how much it does say in terms of liquidity. It says 249,000. So that is decent. That is a decent amount right there and then. And we can see, so unfortunately, so here's one thing which BSC Check did not pick up. So BSC Check was all like, yeah, hey guys, like things are okay, you know, like the liquidity is locked, that's all good. But here's what Token Sniffer found. It said that it has been expired for 97 days. Now, do bear in mind that this may not be completely true, but we'll actually see if we can maybe investigate the actual address on the blockchain to find out if it says anything suspicious or not. So your boy is currently experiencing technical difficulties. It's taken over like a minute to load. Do not know why. We can probably come back to that, but we may not. Yeah, so I'm gonna sort of go a little bit off, because according to this, BSC does actually say that this was done via DXLock as well. But yeah, wait, hang on a moment. Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. This wasn't when this was actually done. This was when the contract was created. Sorry, guys. My apologies. Yeah, so let's see if there's anything else interesting which we can look at. So, yeah, it still does look like it has a lot of liquidity though, because keep in mind that one of the main things here, although the liquidity is not locked, or it could be locked, it is under a smart contract here. So we do actually know that we do have at least 4 million worth of liquidity, which is a pretty good time. So let's have a look at what Polly says according to this. So nothing about changing fees, so that's cool. And then all other holders possess less than 5% of token supply. What's also quite cool is that there are no prior similar token contracts, so that's quite cool as well. Also, I found this website the other day which like you could literally make like your own rug token contract. Don't do it, folks, but I just discovered that you could do that. I might make a special video on it because I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, and they say it's not detectable by any token scanners, but you know, maybe it might be. We'll see. So yes, once again, DX lock. And is that the same address? So 0x9813. We'll see if that is actually the same BSC address. No, that looks to be different, but they could also be pointing to somewhere else. So that's quite interesting. So token age 7 months old, non-burn supply is 75 million, market cap we can see that, liquidity, owner 5.86%, although remember that is probably going to be bigger because if you know you minus the burn percent, which is 25, then that is likely going to be bigger. And what else can we see? So liquidity is 4.22%, unlocked is 64%. Out of that liquidity, which it does say, so remember it says that 99.89% of that is still currently locked in liquidity. But one thing I think that Moonarch and Token Sniffer both struggle to do is that they actually do struggle to actually analyze liquidity in the actual chain itself. So that's why I'm probably more likely going to be putting my cards in BSC check when it actually comes to locks, which is specifically on the chain itself. Still very, it's working for us. Okay. I don't know how to read this. If anybody knows how to read this, contact me and teach me. But I don't know what to say about this because it says that its balance is 0 BNB and BNB value is $0. So, and then it's been getting a bunch of things. So unlock token. I don't know what's going on with that, dudes. Yeah, I have no idea, but it doesn't seem like it has the 99%, but it might. So yes, don't listen to me. Your boy sucks. Cool. So this right here, so this is the BSC one. I did actually have another tab opened with the ETH one. Well, actually, no, I closed out of it, didn't I? So let's have a look at some fields. Anything which is concerning. Check usage of hidden field width. That is probably okay. So they can change the tax fee. They can set a liquidity fee as well. Set mint tokens to swap and liquefy. That sounds like a possible buyback and burn function, but I could be wrong with that. Update Uniswap router. Has modifier only time lock. Okay. That's pretty interesting. That is mentioning Uniswap and WETH for something which is on BSC. So that's pretty fascinating. I haven't seen that within a BSC token contracts. That's interesting. Owner has 7% of non-burnt supply. What did I tell you? Token Sniffer, thank you. Yeah, so those are just some things, but both Token Sniffer and Moonarch were right when it comes to that. So this is their Reddit, very, very small. And the only sort of things, as you can see, I've clicked on some scam, rugpull, scammers, Brazil, Brazil. And beware, Dev is hacking all the wallets that invested money in this project. I don't know about that, champ. But you know, he might be. Look at those stats. Holy bananas. Wow. In the last 30 days, they've had 2,000 new people join, but look at all those red days. I wonder what's going on. Let's have a look at their Twitter, folks. Let's see if we can maybe read some of these things, see if there's any sort of like spam comments, like paid spam comments specifically. because those are definitely the ones which you want to be watching out for. So, you know, let's have a bit of excitement. It looks like a lot of these have been sort of posted pretty recently. I think when it actually comes to their social media, they are definitely pretty up to date when it comes to this stuff. One of the people who actually looks after their, I guess, main marketing is we are going to be having a look at her on LinkedIn. So people seem to like it. Cool. Insane, bro. That was definitely worth it. Nice, sir. Win. Stay safe. Beautiful. Life is a process. That guy went philosophical on all of us. Yeah, so I have joined their Discord as well. They were very prompt within answering questions, so I think that's very good. And the fact that they've had a bunch of minuses is a bit surprising, really. It is a bit surprising from my point of view. So remember that your boy is not a Schiller or a Maxia. Except for when it comes to Cardano, or I don't know, maybe not. So last 12 months anyway. So Sombra Network, so a bit steady, and then nice big sort of hill there, and they had an even bigger hill right there. So that was February 13th. I wonder what happened during that sort of time. We'll see if there's anything. February 13th. Yes, so they went above 0.1 again. So remember, I haven't specifically seen any sort of like spammy comments. I haven't really even seen people sort of comment much about the sort of scam thing. I mean, if we were to briefly jump back to their Reddit page, I mean, these were done 1 month ago, which is interesting because that also potentially lines up with the fact that they lost a bunch of followers during that sort of time. So maybe the guy might have done something sus, not entirely sure. But when I did read some of the other comments which were replying to this, so it says 6 comments here. Brazil? So they say, why? No, they're not. No, they're not. Yes, they are. Beware, devs hacking, gonna be rug pulling soon, blah blah. Cool. Great. Scam, why can't I sell my coins? Dead. Yeah, all these people saying these negative things, I mean, from what I can see, it, like, the main risk which you have, according to the things which I have come across, is literally, like, if they were to change the actual fee, if they were to change the liquidity fee. Now keep in mind one thing when it actually comes to fees as well. So this could be a benefit but also a detriment. So when it comes to a big exchange such as Binance, and it could be for other exchanges as well, but Binance is the only one which I know that does this. But they don't actually accept coin/tokens if they actually have any sort of tax / transaction fee. So that could be one reason why they have this as the ability to be able to change fees. So I'm just going to let you guys know that in case you're like, well, why didn't they just take it out of the token contract? So that's one possibility, is that if they want to actually be listed on something like that, then it's pretty important. But keep in mind, because they are only currently listed on actual swaps and not on anything which is, let's say, I'm going to say centralized. Please do not hate me, privacy coin maxis. But like, because it's only currently listed on swaps, that could be a bit more concerning than if it was to be on more centralized exchanges. But then you've got the other risk. If it's on centralized exchanges, then the exchange owns your tokens, and then they can choose to, go and take the tokens away at any point. So yeah, you want it to be a trusted exchange, nothing like was it CTEX or VTEX, one of those two. I did on the video I did like yesterday, I think. Cool. So yes, so things look pretty fine according to this, and 79,000 followers is a heck of a lot of followers. It's on 11,000 watch list, which feels like it's a bit less than what this is. And they've got, like, I think somewhere between 2,000 to 6,000 people on their Discord, so that's fine. So we'll have a look at the last 90 days, see what we can see on here. So once again, that February thing, which this almost kind of looks like the actual price chart itself. And over the last 30 days, is there anything exciting? A few little spikes here and there, but mostly pretty dull. So we've had a look at the YouTube. So this is a part of their main page. I believe that we've already had a look at this jazz as well. So we'll move forward to the next selection. I also did go through and sort of test some of the things on their website to make sure that their links had actually worked. Some of them don't work, and some of them are a bit strange. So this is what they call their dark paper. This is quite fascinating. So they call it their dark paper. What is it? Sombra is the first metaverse content and VFX DAO. These guys are a DAO? Dang. We are bespoke. Yeah, I'm not going to read this whole thing. But cool. Seems great. Our goal, through token utilization, you can receive these things here. Great. Pause it. Read it. Cool. Next section. They have a video. The video, like the song in their videos, which are like around like a minute and 40 something seconds long, freak me out, man. They sound like some scary songs. Our team, as well as NFT artists, come from, so that, remember, they've got a bunch of NFT artists. So I mean, if you have a look, creator, like pretty much almost all these guys are like different creators, right? So I think that's really awesome. And this of course is just them with like trying to have different pretend names, but I mean some of this art is like pretty complex stuff. And look at how beautiful this wolf looks. Little tiger paw. That's cute. Anyway, so they've got a whole bunch of things in terms of their specialties. So they got CGI and concept art and animation, AR, VR, and whole bunch of other things. So these are the studio softwares which they pretty much look at using. You guys may recognize some of these. I mean, Maya's probably like one of like the best top boys when it comes to this thing, or one of them anyway. Adobe, always wonderful for making Flash games. DaVinci Resolve, I have used that video software before. You guys, I mean, Unity and Unreal Engine, you guys should most definitely know who those guys are. And Blender's also another sort of animation software as well. So yeah, and RealFlow, I feel like I do recognize that in ZBrush, but you know, maybe not. NFLs, so Bonfire, the NFL drop was hosted. You guys can read that. Cool. Next section. And they also say brands, and here's something which sort of confused me a little bit. So it says, through Bonfire, Sombra has a long existing relationship with brands across the globe. Our community has led some of the most iconic projects and continues to make amazing visual effects work each day. So these are some of the brands which they have relationships with. So I'm not sure exactly what this means for the project, but I guess that because they have like an inside person with that, then that's potentially a pretty good thing. I'm not sure exactly what they did with these guys though, so it's kind of hard to say how good they are. I mean, I used to work for a company where like I had to speak to a bunch of like I guess well-known tech companies. Yeah, but I mean I'm not really gonna be like, yes, come to my YouTube channel because I have had connections with these amazing companies in the past, right? Like that's not really why you guys come here. Yeah, so some of the stuff is pretty heckin' impressive, to be honest. So, you know, as you can see, all this different art. They tried doing a proof of concept with BitBoy avatar, and I think I don't like the way how they did the sort of hair. But I mean, the shirt seems pretty right, and probably the body size could have been a bit bigger. But this one, Gary V, like, I mean, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, so honestly, proof of concept, proof of art, it does look really good. Let's just hope that these guys don't pull like a little No Man's Sky on us. I mean, there have been some of the projects which have done similar things to that as well. And actually something which it says here, so this is in regards to the actual tokenomics themselves. I can't see anything about vesting or anything, so that's quite interesting. So remember that 6% which they have on, or they have for tax on every transaction. So 3% is sent to locked liquidity. Really? That's fascinating. and 3% redistributed to all SMBR holders. So as a holder, you get some extras, and that 3% is a part of lock liquidity. Is it really though? I don't know, man. You say it, but I don't know if it's true. NFTs 10% and NFT sale, and so this will probably just show a little bit about how it sort of works. So BNB, so 10% buyback, blah blah blah. You guys can look at that. Even though I can't get the full image, let me see if I can. There we go. Yes. So Sombra artist charity. All looks wonderful. All looks tremendous. And this was done in Adobe. So if I open it in a new tab, look at that. It's even got a white background. Tremendous. So for those who are maybe a bit hard of seeing, cool. You want to take a picture of that? You've got to include the PlayStation mouse, though. Okay. Otherwise, it's not official CSI. PlayStation mouse, it's hilarious. Alright, next section. So who are we? So here's where the links kind of like get a little bit sussy. So team, we can see the team, which is wonderful, because at first I was like, where the heck is their team? But then it doesn't lead to the roadmap, and I was like, okay. So they kind of have a roadmap, but they kind of don't. It's a little bit confusing. So on their actual Sins of Shadow website, they say, so you can actually see their roadmap down here. But their roadmap tells us nothing, dude. Like it tells us what they can do or what they want to do, but I want to be able to see some text next to it. I want to see some dates. I want to see some estimations. Give me like the month, man. Give me like what is finished, what is currently finished, and what is happening next. Like, I want to see these things. I want some like good layouts, man. Like, and this doesn't tell me much. Like, I can see, you know, like it's sort of like it's all very showy. It's all, have a look at this, homes and gear and vehicles. But tell us where you are at in the process. Tell us where you are at in the project. That is one thing which would be wonderful to know. Oh my gosh, do these LinkedIn links work? They do! Oh my gosh, I'm so annoyed by that. So the reason why I say I'm annoyed by that is because when I had a look here, right, and I clicked these links, all of them linked to Brendan, and then Brendan saying just 404'd. All of these links. And I'm like, okay, then whatever. And so I had to like manually type their names in. But now you show me that I can actually just click links and you take me straight to these. Man, how irritating. So if we see bonfire, then just assume that it's also part of the Sombra app. So they've got a few different guys. Oh my gosh. But so the main two guys who looks like are sort of more in charge of the technical side of things, they don't actually show themselves, which to me is a bit sussy. But you know, yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. So anyway, let's have a look at who we can actually see. So let's have a look at Brendan first, because Brendan is a good boy. 11,000 followers. So this dude is heckin' impressive, man. Like, he is a very impressive human being. He will do more than most people will probably do in their lives when it comes to everything. Am I envious? Let's say no comment. So he's the founding parter. What is a parter? Partner? Parter. Yeah, and it says that he's been founder, head of Metaverse, and head of VFX with Sombra, and they talk about Sins of Shadow and some other things. So that's Carpi. This dude's experience is wild, crazy high. So good on him. I appreciate that. Monica, she is the head of marketing and community. So good on her as well. Don't really see much of a background with her, but I mean, if we have a look at anything regarding their Twitter, I mean, it looks pretty good there, other than for like 30 days ago. And then we also have, I'm not going to try to pronounce the name, but she is a partner / lead software developer, but she doesn't list herself being a part of either Sins of Shadow, Sombra, or Bonfire, so I'm not sure why that is or what's going on with that. But you know, it's a bit random. And then I'm not going to try pronouncing your name near the king. And then a similar thing here. I don't see any proof that he is currently with, or has been with, Bonfire. But keep in mind, I believe that his position is different to all the rest. So he's actually head of mocap, which mocap I believe is motion capture. Yes, and he's been working for a whole bunch of different companies, all the way from DreamWorks, Fox, Sony, and 20th Century Fox, and a bunch of other sort of names which you guys will probably recognize. So yeah, so he's a part of their partner, which I think is fantastic, and we can move on. So, cool. We're not really going to be having a look through these other guys, because I mean, even though it seems like their position is pretty important, actually we will look at this dude, because this dude is a director, and we'll see where it says. So cool. Bonfire creative director, so kappa to him. So ladies and gentlemen, we come to the favorite part of the show, where we judge everything, and we say, is this project great or nah? No, I'm kidding. This is CSI's work in progress, likely an accurate project checklist. And we're sitting in March, aren't we? 24th, fabulous. Functional and clean website / media. I honestly got really confused during this website, trying to like figure things out and where things were. And they have like 3 different websites for 3 different things. Still feel like I don't quite understand Sins of Shadow. So do we give it an A+ or an A-? I'm gonna give it like a 7, because some links were also not working properly, and I feel like it would have been better if maybe they had like their team listed on like somewhere which was more obvious. And that's my personal thing, as well as, I mean, as I already mentioned, like some of the links are not working. Cool. Next section. Oh, also apparently they aren't actually on Solana yet. They're actually only on these top 3 currently, so just be aware of that. Cool. So any threatening big boy holders? Not really. I mean, there was that kind of like one dude who had like 7%, but I'll give them maybe like I'll give them about an 8. Yeah, probably about an 8 for that jazz, because technically if you sort of plus like that like 2.3 on top of the 5.8, then that makes it like almost kind of like 10%. And also one other problem which I did notice with these guys is that we have not seen any graph or anything, at least from my point of view, which has made it obvious in terms of actual distribution of tokens. So that's frustrating from my point of view, because it would be nice to be able to actually see that. Couldn't see it on their dark paper. And yeah, so couldn't really see it anywhere else neither. So yeah, we will just do a quick double check though. Yes, when we have a look at this, I mean, we still can't see it, so that's pretty annoying, to be honest, because that's also one of the more foundational things. I also want to drop them down to a 7 for that. Yeah, so that's a bit irritating. Control V paid bot comments, didn't see any, they get a 10. Although they do have a suspicious amount of followers. But they've also been with that thing Bonfire. I'm going to give them a 9. Because I feel like, yeah, for something which has been around for that short of a time, like, how did it get that big, and what happened with it? Nah, we'll go back to a 10, to be honest, because I still didn't see any. Is the token / coin distribution fair? We don't know. So maybe it's best to tick this one as not applicable, because we can't see that. It would be good to see that. Or I could possibly put this as 1 because of the fact that they don't show it. Yeah, no, we'll stay with not applicable. Solid roadmap, we do not know. It was very unclear. I give them about a 2 for that, because nonetheless it was still a roadmap, but it just wasn't clear. It wasn't like clearly labeled out. We don't know if we should be investing right now or if we should be investing in another point in time. Because we don't know, like, I can't see if there's any sort of updates. Unless I was to go through each and individual of these videos, which I have not, because that would be annoying for me personally, but you guys can if you believe in the project, man. DYOR, right? Do your own research, bro. Then yes, you can do that, but yeah, from what I can see of the solid roadmap, I'm not a fan. I do like how they kind of did try to challenge the status quo a little bit in regards to that, but it just it honestly doesn't tell me much, dude. Yeah, I mean, and it feels like this roadmap may be more for Sins of Shadow as opposed to like something else, but I feel like Sins of Shadow might be the actual metaverse which they're building this jazz on. Trusted centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. I'm gonna give them a 4 for this. So usually I only really give a 3 if it's, let's say, just like PancakeSwap or just Uniswap. But the fact that we do have it listed on a few different multiple types of swaps, including ones such as Quick and Ape, I don't know. It just, like, we sort of know these names. These are sort of more familiar names to us. And it does sort of show us that these guys probably know a little bit more than the standard coin shiller, right? Is the team doxed with LinkedIn? I would say yes, except for a few members. So somewhere between an 8 and a 9. I'll give them an 8 purely because when it actually comes to this jazz, once again, the actual sort of categories would be nice if maybe we actually did see a bit more of like a clearer hierarchy. But also if we could have maybe seen some extra experiences from some of these hidden dudes. I mean, senior blockchain supervisors, so like pretty much the main dudes who are looking after the blockchain side of things, like we don't see anything regarding them, so it's kind of like, okay, like are they just contractors? Like what's kind of happening with that? So team interviews and or AMAs, honestly, like the fact that they have so many updates is wonderful. It is only from one guy, which is Brendan O'Neill. But I think that's kind of all we really need, so I kind of give them a 10 because he's constantly giving out news, and good on him, man. Good on him. Any relevant team experience? Yes, I'll give them a 9 for this one. The reason why, so once again, this still comes under the kind of whole thing here. We don't completely know. So I give them a 9 because from what we have seen, it seems pretty good. Other than the Monica chick with the marketing, I'm not saying that she's bad at her job. I'm just saying that like we don't know what other experiences she's had, because first of all, it doesn't really tell us much about her. I mean, she says that she's only got 23 connections. I feel like she's probably got like maybe a hidden LinkedIn which we just haven't seen yet or something. Tony Robbins, interesting. And yeah, like fashion designer from November 2021, like. What was she doing before like the year 2020? Was she born? Like, I don't know. That was really rude. Sorry, I take that back. Oh my gosh, that was such an awful thing to say. Sorry, Monica. Don't mean to be rude. And any notable partnerships? Potentially. It's hard to say in terms of notable partnerships with these guys. So, because of what Bonfire had previously, notable partnerships could be really quite well. It could actually be looking very, very good. But it's hard to say if like any of those sort of big name brands or any of those big name companies, you know, like Netflix and Coca-Cola and the rest of them, right? It's kind of hard to say whether or not they would still be okay with doing maybe some sort of partnership with them longer term. So I'm going to give them about like a 6, mostly because, sorry, no, that's a 7. Mostly because a part of their, I guess, past, if you want to say that, has been pretty good when it comes to the Bonfire thing. But it's hard to say whether or not that would still apply into the Sombra world. Honestly, these guys did really well for this test, to be honest. Most projects I only really give 2-star to, but these guys got a full-on 4-star. So let's give them a round of applause, folks. I think that they did very well. I think that this looks incredibly good when it comes to this jazz. And I'm trying to be as objective as possible when it comes to this. So there's other things which you guys probably which maybe we're not taking into account here. So for instance, their Discord community was very active, very responsive. Those Reddit posts which were saying that it was like a scam and that people couldn't sell and everything, I couldn't see anything regarding that. I mean, the actual token checkers didn't really find anything regarding that neither. So there's a whole bunch of things which actually is not included as a part of this likely inaccurate project checklist. Yes, so anyway folks, this has been absolutely wonderful. Oh my gosh, I forgot that I had the dark mode on. This is my page. Welcome to my Patreon. If you do have any requests, please, for the love of a goat nugget, become my advocate. Like, a bunch of people have been commenting, requesting, and I'm not saying don't comment, but I am saying if you definitely want me to do a video on your thing, then please become an advocate of mine. If you are interested in sponsoring me or anything, want me to do promotion things, you can also message me as well. But keep in mind that if your project looks bad, I'm gonna roast you. Rest in peace once again, folks. You can like and subscribe, whatever. Comment if you're happy with this. Read that little grey box down the bottom. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Be safe out there. This can be a bit of a dangerous world. You can get banned from things. And you can find people that might try to take advantage of you. So be careful. Be careful, okay? Much love. Goodbye.